Now, it's a very British Labour coup. Slowly, but so far unstoppably, in an effective but unshowy way, the bearded face of Jeremy Corbyn is being carved onto his party. Forget New Labour, forget Old Labour. This is Jezza Labour with the promise of Labour as we've never known it. The Labour leader's grip was significantly boosted this week when Corbynistas won all three positions vacant on the party's governing body. It's the NEC. More important in the wider world, the news agenda tilted in a Corbynista direction, with daily stories about an NHS stretched to the limit and the outsourcing of public services to the private sector, discredited by the corporate mess, even scandal, that became Carillion. So is the future bright? Is the future Corbyn? Barbara Ntumy is a Labour activist and Jezza supporter. Here she is with her take of the week.
It's not easy to fix a broken party in a broken system. And Jeremy hasn't got for the easy option of just putting the pieces back together. Instead, he's put together an exciting and new vision for his party and the country. This week, the ruling committee, the NEC, welcomed 3 new members, directly elected for the first time by the party's membership. Jeremy has rightly strengthened his hold, but this is more than just that. It's about building the party into a more democratic organisation. The elected candidates share members' determination to win the next election, with the focus on the many and not the few. Labour Party members have backed Jeremy's agenda, and that is why support for the Labour Party from the general public is increasing. This result has been spun by some as a further move away from the Labour Party as a broad church, a plan to oust so-called moderate MPs. But the Labour Party routes and selection hasn't changed. Constituent party members ultimately make a democratic decision on who will represent them best. If MPs don't share the views of the leadership and membership, they are entitled to take action. This is also the week we've seen the wheel come off a failed capitalist model. Carillion's collapse has seen firefighters deliver meals in Oxfordshire and contingency plans enacted across 14 NHS trusts. It's sad that it's taken this to vindicate Jeremy's position. Our leader has transformed the party for the better. Now, he must transform the country.
And our thanks to Kite Studios in West London. Welcome to our new Potter in residence, Barbara Ntumy. Welcome to the programme, Barbara.
Thank you.
So, Liz, are the Corbynistas now pretty much in control of the Labour Party?
Yes, they are. I think that they weren't the candidates that I voted for. And how I see this is there are many Momentum members, like I believe you, Barbara, who really do want to change the party and change the world. But I am concerned about elements of the hard left who seem more bothered about fighting internal battles. You may disagree with me on that, but I think one of the first moves of those new members was to get rid of Anne Black, who was head of the Disputes Committee. I mean, Anne Black.
She was on the left
Grassroots
herself.
Alliance, elected by over 100,000 members onto the NEC. And I think it is really important that, this internal fighting has got to stop and that we have to focus on changing the country. I hope you're right and that doesn't happen, but I do have concerns.
What do you say to that, Barbara?
I'd say that, I think it's really great that for the first time ever, the thousands of members that we've got in the Labour Party were able to have a say on who was going to be part of the National Executive Committee. And in regards to Anne Black in the chair, I think Anne Black has done a wonderful job representing and serving the Labour Party. I do believe that chairs change all the time. I've been part of organisation where I've been somebody else has been elected a chair of a committee, and I think that the new chair will also do a really great job. And I think it is really about us coming together and really transforming this country, just like you said, Liz, for the better.
But you replaced someone on the left of the party who wasn't a Corbynista with someone who is a Corbynista. Is that the aim? Is to put like-minded people like yourself into all the top positions?
It's not to put like-minded people like ourselves. It's really about giving other people an opportunity to also serve the Labour Party. And like I said, Anne Black has done a terrific job, and I'm sure Christine will also do a terrific job at serving the Labour Party. And it's an opportunity for other people with expertise, with zeal, with confidence, with passion, who want to be part of the Labour Party to serve, the members of the Labour Party.
But it was a hardline Momentum member that replaced her.
Christine, like I said, is a great representative. She's a member of the Labour Party, member of Momentum, so are so many other people. Well, she's now a member of the Labour Party, and like I said, chairs change hands at, so many different times. Loads of people leave, and, there's reshuffles and stuff like that. So I think that, again, Anne Black's done a great job serving the party.
Okay,
I think
should let's move on, because most people don't know who Anne Black is. Right. Should MPs undergo an automatic reselection process?
I think that in terms of selection to become MPs, I think we must, the Labour Party rules haven't changed, and from what I've heard, Jeremy or anybody else that I know is not advocating for deselection.
But should existing Labour MPs before the next election have to go through a reselection process?
I believe that that's the process for the Labour Party, and I don't think it's an attempt to deselect.
There is already a process, which is your branches have to decide whether you're going to carry on being an MP, and if more than half say no, you have to go through that. It is really important that we don't get distracted with changing all of that. I think that would be a real disaster, because democracy is about Labour members having their views heard. I really hope that happens on Europe, by the way, where the vast majority of Labour members would like us to stay in the single market and customs union. But democracy is also about respecting different views, and we have always been a broad church, and that has got to remain.
But should Liz have to go through a reselection process?
I don't think I can personally say if Liz have to go through, but Liz has obviously explained how the rules work, and I think that, a lot of the conversation I've been having, I think, have been about people who don't believe that their MPs are maybe acting or voting or taking up the issues that is in their interest. And what I'd say to that is that those individuals, those constituent Labour parties, should have discussion with their MPs and bring it up with their MPs. And just like Liz has described, there is a process. If half of people want, the current MP to carry on the wall, and if they don't, it will trigger a process. And I think that, that's the process that we still have, that we're going to continue to have. And I think that that's a process that's fair as well.
Is the political tide running in Mr. Corbyn's direction?
It has run in his direction, and I think from now on it will not run in his direction. I think if the government, makes it for another 3 or 4 years, it will probably have run considerably against him. I think he will have gone past his peak. I also now think that the government has a better chance than appeared the case at the beginning to survive for quite a long period. I mean, if only because the Ulster Unionists are not going to want to put in a person they see as an IRA sympathiser.
If Michael's right, if against the odds this Parliament runs till 2022, which nobody last year really thought it had a chance of doing, now some people are saying maybe it will just kind of stumble through. In your view, should Mr. Corbyn then, who I think then would be 73, should he lead the Labour Party into that election?
Are we asking whether he's still competent in terms of the policies he's put of, or are we just specifically talking about his age? I don't really know what his age's got to do with it, to be totally honest. It's as to whether the membership of the Labour Party...
No one has stood to be British Prime Minister at the age of 70.
Well,
for the first time.
We didn't think we were going to leave the European Union, but here we are.
So you think that even if it takes a while to get to the next election, Mr. Corbyn is the man to lead you into that election?
Of course, if he's still the Labour leader and if majority of the membership continue to support him, I don't see why not. I really don't see what his age has to do with anything. It's about the message and the vision of the country that we're trying to create. That's the key thing here.
What is to stop Momentum continuing to extend its writ in the Labour Party?
Understanding that if we want to win, that our focus should be on the public. And, you know, I was talking earlier about parts of the country, rural areas, post-industrial towns, where we actually saw a swing towards the Tories and away from Labour, our so-called traditional heartlands. And I think it is really important.
But they think
that
they
we
are in
focus.
tune. They think they are in tune. They think that they are more representative now of Labour voters, particularly younger ones, than you are.
Yeah, but my experience of new members in my own patch is they understand we've got a huge task in those areas, traditionally low turnout, and also who are concerned about the direction of the country, are not yet convinced that we have the right answers. So I think that has got to be our focus, not about these internal battles. That is the most important thing.
I'd say that, you know, we can do two things at the same time. I think that, you know, strengthening democracy so that members have a say in a party is really a really important bit, because you want people that have given up time and energy. And I get emails every week about getting involved in something and doing something for the Labour Party. You know, they should be able to have a say. And at the same time, you know, I think the momentum does galvanise loads of people to turn up for MPs and canvass for candidates and help and support. And, you know, we are, you know, for want of a better word, the army on the ground. And I think that that's also important.
I think all of this is really good news from the Conservative point of view. I think it will be very easy to portray Momentum as a deeply sinister organisation that has infiltrated and taken over the Labour Party.
Why is it sinister?
I don't think that's true.
It's sinister because it is authoritarian, because it imposes a single view of what it is. If you listen to Barbara talking about democracy, she's talking about the self-appointed group who have made themselves Labour Party members. That's not what democracy is about. Democracy is about the 60 million people in this country. And the more Barbara convinces herself that democracy is about these people who have paid £3 to become members of the Labour Party, the happier I am, because actually democracy is something quite different.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about all the members in the Labour Party.
When we get to a general election, you will find that there's a big difference between what you think is democracy, which is 500,000 people, and the millions of votes that you would need to win an election.
I mean, it's the same view that underestimated us in the general election, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, because you did a lot better than mainstream opinion thought in the last election.
Well, definitely, because
in circumstances where people thought that Corbyn was going to be trounced, at the next election they will be very aware that Corbyn may win. And that, again, is a terrific advantage to the Conservatives.
Well, but that's, again, it's like lighting fire under the feet, because we're going to work even harder. We're going to try to convince more people are going to come out and canvass. That's the whole point of that.
Without doubt, mobilising members is essential. But we really have to look at those places that we lost, or where the swing actually went against us. You know, I am very pleased that we've got so many more.
So why wouldn't the Momentum message resonate with these areas?
I think we have a challenge with it, because in some of those traditional areas, people are still worried, can they trust us with their money, with their taxes, with their national security, that they want to know that we believe in success and aspiration, that we will be strong on defence. Those are all the issues, certainly, that I picked up in some parts of my constituency, which I think are reflected in those towns, post-industrial, small towns, rural areas, that we need to win back.
In response to this.
I think that Jeremy has gone a long way of winning people back, and he will continue to. I think that the manifesto is just the start of it. And you specifically talk about the heartland and the post-industrial places. Us leaving Europe, for example, is going to have a massive impact on those people. And I think in relation to the economy, Jeremy has proven that we can be trusted. I mean, we put a great manifesto forward and people voted for that. And I think it's really about us, party members like me and you, Liz, and so many other people, actually really going out there, making the case and convincing people that Labour actually is really better for this country than Conservatives are.
Barbara, we'll leave it there. Thank you.